Yes. What performer did you like to work with that was really fun and you learned a lot from?
Oh, my gosh. But you get these good questions, Pavlina. You won't know these names because they're way before your time. They're way before your mother's time. But I believe the Lettermen came along at just the right magical moment in the late 50s before rock and roll became popular. The Lettermen were called a pop group, not a rock and roll group. And because we were called a pop group, we were accepted by the establishment at that time. The great entertainers that had television shows, were selling out in Las Vegas, wanted the Lettermen to be on their shows. So because of that, in that magical time of 59, 60, 61 through 65, the Lettermen had the privilege of working with great, great entertainers and comedians like George Burns. We traveled for 6 months with George Burns. Later on, after he lost Gracie, his partner, later on, he got some roles by himself and he played God in some movies. But he was a wonderful vaudevillian. He started out way back in the 20s when he and Gracie were starving and they were on the vaudeville train, and they had to steal ketchup from Horn and Hardart cafeteria in New York. They take it to their little room apartment in New York. They put it with water on a hot plate, and that ketchup turned into their soup.
Wow.
So they had very hard times. Another vaudevillian we had the pleasure of working with is Jack Benny. Jack Benny is another institution. And we worked with him for several months. We were on his television show and in person in Las Vegas. Another person we worked with at the very beginning was Red Skelton. We were regulars on Red Skelton's television show. Well, we worked with Jackie Gleason, Mr. Saturday Night. We worked with all these, Bill Cosby and Debbie Reynolds and Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby and Milton Berle and Jerry Lewis. We were very fortunate because we were very young, but because our music was pop, it appealed to the older people. And unlike a lot of other rock and rollers our age, didn't appeal to the older people because we appealed to everybody. We got a chance to work with these great, great, great celebrities and entertainers, and I learned something from each one of them. But what I really did learn, beside everything else, they were human beings. They were nice guys, human beings that cared about people, and were not afraid of working and rehearsing. And that's how they got to where they got. So that gave me a great insight, again, that being an entertainer, it's a job, and you have to love your job or you don't do it.
When I was rehearsing at Herald Square the night before the Macy's Parade last year, James Taylor came out for the marching rehearsals, and after he got that just right, he went to each side of the crowds and he greeted everyone. That took a while, but he did it, and the other performers didn't. Why do performers like to be around people and the others don't?
Well, I guess, Pavlina, that's probably like some people like chocolate ice cream and some people like vanilla ice cream. I happen to like people, and like James Taylor, we are very audience accessible. We sign autographs after every show. We even have a camera song in our show that invites people to come on stage and take photographs with us. I can't speak for anybody else, but all I know is that for me, that works. I love people, and I love that people love me. When people come to the autograph table after every show, they tell me some wonderful things about how certain older couples, they fell in love with their first hit, or they had their first kiss to our second hit, or they had our third hit at their wedding. I like to be part of Americana, and I love people. And I guess there's some other people, entertainers, I can't speak for. They might be more shy, and they might choose to be, maybe they're awkward being in front of people, but I can't speak for them. All I know is I like being more personable than less personable.
Yes. You'll be coming to the DeLand, Florida this month at the Athens Theater, November 29th at 2:30 and 7:30, and tickets will be available by calling Athens Theater. And are you going to be having your Broadway CD when you come to DeLand?
Yes, we're very excited because the Broadway CD was out last year. That's going to be with us, but we have a brand new one that's also going to be available there, Pavlina.
Yes.
We have our newest CD is called The Lettermen 2010 New Direction, and that is the first date in the world in our lifetime that this CD will finally be available. It's our brand new one. So we'll have the Broadway CD, but we'll also have this big band CD, and we're very, very, very excited. And we're not going to do probably too much of the new CD in our show, but we do a long show, Pavlina. We do almost a 3-hour concert. So people that come to see our show, they should bring their cameras, because we have a camera song in our show where people get on stage and take photos with us. And they should bring their cameras, because after the show, we're out in the lobby, and we sign autographs for everybody there. They can take photographs with us. And then to show you how user-friendly we are, we give out cards that have our address on them after the show. When people take our photographs with us, we invite them to send that photo they took that night with us, send it by self-addressed envelope to our office, and they can blow it up or whatever, and we'll personally autograph it and send it back to them. And we also ask people to besides bring their cameras, they can bring all their old albums, their LPs, CDs, 8-tracks, cassettes, and I'll sign every one of them. So, yes. Pavlina, we love people. We're very user-friendly. So we're going to have a good time at the Athens Theater on November 29th for those 2 shows in DeLand, Florida.
Okay. And what songs do you have on the Broadway CD?
Well, the Broadway CD are our favorites. There's songs from I Have Dreamed, from Carousel. We have Maria from West Side Story, Somewhere from West Side Story. We have all these beautiful songs from Les Miserables. All the greatest Sound of Music. We have Climb Every Mountain. Mm-hmm. We have from Chorus Line. We have songs from Chorus Line. And from Phantom of the Opera, we have All I Ask of You. It's a really nice album, and I really enjoyed making it.
I love Phantom of the Opera. And actually, one of my favorite songs from Phantom of the Opera is All I Ask of You. So.
Oh, my gosh. Well, that's
yes.
One of my favorites. We do that in person. So when you come to see us, we'll be happy to meet you. I want Donovan, the other Lettermen, to meet you, Mark to meet you, and if you can make it. And when we do it on stage that night, we'll dedicate it to you.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. It's
been my pleasure, and I tell most people the hardest thing for me, Tony Butala with the Lettermen, to do is shut up. I like to talk, so I'm sorry if I overwhelmed your interview, but you've asked some great questions, and I'll tell you one thing. Let's do it again sometime.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Okay, God bless you, and have a successful show.